Hi, I'm Shelley and welcome to this tutorial for a lovely mesh type crochet jumper, perfect for summer. And you'll need a 4mm hook and some double knit in cotton or bamboo or linen, any kind of yarn that's breathable. And start by chaining 93 stitches. And for the first row, we're just going to insert the hook into the second chain from the hook. And then we're going to double crochet into each chain until you get to the end. And just continue. And for the second row, we're just going to chain one and work into the second double crochet and into each double crochet until the end, where we'll finish with a double crochet into the starting chain. So just continue working double crochet until you get to the end of the row. So start the next row with a chain 3 and 2 trebles into the same stitch, and then chain 7 and miss 5 stitches and double crochet into the next one, and then chain 3, miss 2 stitches and double crochet into the next one, and chain 7 again, and then miss 5 stitches and double crochet, fan stitch, so 2 treble crochets chain 1 and 2 double crochets. So that's the pattern. We'll go through it once more. Chain 7, miss 5 stitches and double crochet into the next stitch, chain 3, miss 2 stitches, double crochet into the next stitch, chain 7, miss 5 stitches, and then fan stitch into the next stitch. So 2 treble crochets, chain 1 and another 2 double crochets. So just repeat that sequence until you get to the end of the row. So at the end of the row, miss 5 stitches and then do 3 trebles into the turning chain. So next row, chain 3 and 2 trebles into the first treble, chain 3 and double crochet into the next chain 7 space, chain 5 and double crochet into the next chain 7 space, chain 3 and work a fan into the center of the previous fan. So 2 double crochets, 2 treble crochets, chain stitch and another 2 treble crochets. And then chain 3 again, so we're back to the beginning, chain 3, double crochet into the chain space, the next 7 chain space, chain 5 and double crochet into the next chain space, chain 3 and then work a fan two trebles, chain 1 and another 2 trebles into the same space and chain 3. So that's the sequence. So you're going to go into there and then you're going to chain 5 and go into there and then you're going to work a fan in there. So just continue that sequence until you get to the end of the row and end the row with 3 trebles into the turning chain. So chain 3 for the beginning of the next row and then 2 trebles into the first treble from the previous row, and we're going to work a fan into the 5 chain space. So it's a double treble crochet 11 times. So you've done the 11 double treble crochets and next we're going to work a fan into the fan chain space, chain 1, 2 trebles and just continue working a fan into the 5 chain space, this one, the second 5 chain space, and then a fan into the fan from the row before, and finish with 3 trebles into the turning chain. And turn. And for the next row, chain 3 and 2 trebles into the first treble, and then double crochet into the first double treble of the shell, chain 3, skip 1 double treble and double crochet into the next one, chain 3, skip 1 double treble, double crochet into the next one, chain 3, skip 1 double treble, double crochet into the next one, chain 3, miss 1 double treble, double crochet into the next one, chain 3, skip the next one and double crochet into the next one, chain 2 and work a fan stitch, 2 trebles, 1 chain, 2 trebles into the fan stitch from the previous row, and then 1 double crochet into the first double treble, and again we're going to do 3 chains, miss 1 double treble and double crochet into the next one, 3 chains, miss 1 double treble and double crochet into the next one, 3 chains, miss 1 double treble, double crochet into the next one, 3 chains, miss 1 double crochet into the next one, 3 chains, miss 1 double crochet into the next one, chain 2 and work a fan into the fan stitch and just continue that sequence. And so we'll start the next row with the chain 3 and 2 trebles into the first treble from the previous row, and then we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to miss this space and go straight into this one and double crochet. So we're going to chain 3 and double crochet into all of the spaces at the top of the double crochet double treble crochet fan. So chain 3, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, and last one, double crochet. And then we're going to chain 3 again, and we're going to work a fan into the fan from the previous row, 2 trebles, 1 chain and 2 trebles, and then as before we're going to chain 3 and then do a double crochet into the first space, we're going to do double crochet into the first space at the top of the fan, sorry. And as before, we're going to chain 3 and double crochet into all the spaces around the fan, and then chain 3, fan into the fan, chain 3, and just continue that sequence until you get to the end of the row. And end the row on chain 3 and 3 trebles into the turning chain. And then we're going to chain 3, 2 trebles into the first treble, and then chain 4, skip the first 3 chain space and double crochet into the next space, chain 3 and double crochet into the second space along, chain 3 and double crochet into the third space along, and then we're going to chain 4, and then chain 3 and double crochet into the next space along, chain 4, and then work a fan into the previous fan. You don't need me to repeat what that is by now, I'm sure. And then chain 4 and skip the next space and go into the next one, chain 3, go into the next one, double crochet, chain 3, go into the next one, double crochet, and once more, chain 3 and double crochet, and then you're going to chain 4 into the fan, chain 4, and then do repeat the sequence that we've just gone through to the end of the row. And we'll end the row with a chain 4 and then 3 treble crochets into the turning chain. And turn, and we start the next row as usual with a chain 3 and 2 trebles into the first treble, and then we're going to chain 5, and we're going to miss the first 4 chain space, and we're going to double crochet into the next 3 chain space, and then we're going to do it again, and then again, it's 3 times, chain 5, and fan into the previous fan. And then we're just going to repeat what we did. We're going to miss the 4 chain space. We're going to chain 5, and then we're going to double crochet into the first 3 chain space, chain 3, double crochet into the second chain space, chain 3, and double crochet into the 3rd chain space, and then chain 5 and work into the fan, chain 5, work into the 3 chain spaces all along. So just repeat the sequence now until you get to the end of the row, and we end the row on chain 5 and 3 trebles into the turning chain. And turn, and we start off in the usual way by chaining 3, and 2 trebles into the first stitch, and then we're going to chain 7, and we're going to miss this 5 chain space, and we're going to double crochet into the next 3 chain space, chain 3, double crochet into the next 3 chain space, chain 7, and work a fan into the previous fan, chain 1, 2 trebles, and then we're going to do what we did at the beginning and chain 7, and then we're going to miss the 5 chain space and double crochet into the 3 chain space, chain 3, and double crochet into the 3 chain space, and then we're going to chain 7, fan, miss the next 7, no sorry, treble 7, and then we're going to chain 7 again, work into the fan, chain 7, and then double crochet into these 2 spaces, chain 7 into the fan, and so on. Continue to the end of the row, and end the row with a 7 chain and 3 trebles into the turning chain, and that is the pattern. So we're going to go back to row 2 because we need to work up to here again. So we're going to start with a chain 3, and 2 trebles in the first treble, that was a bit pear-shaped. Chain 3, 2 trebles in the first treble, chain 3, 1 double crochet in 7 chain space, chain 5, and 1 double crochet into the next 7 chain space, chain 3, and work a fan, and then chain 3, and work a double crochet into the next 7 chain space, and just continue seven and into the 7 chain space, and then chain 3 and go into the fan, and just continue that to the end of the row, and then repeat from row 3 to row 8. You need to rewind the video and go back over those so that you can work from row 3 to row 8 again. So end the row with chain 3 and 3 trebles into the turning chain, and then turn, and this is going to be the last row of the pattern. So chain 3, 2 trebles into the first treble, and we're going to work a shell into this 5 chain space, so 11 double treble crochets, and just continue to do that. Work 11 double treble crochets into the 5 chain space, and then as fan, and then a double treble into the 2nd chain space after the fan, and then work into the fan, and just continue like that as we did for row 3 until the end of the row, and end the row with a fan and 3 trebles into the turning chain, so that's the end of the pattern for the bottom of the jumper. And all we're going to do for the next 2 rows is we're going to double crochet into each stitch across, into each treble or double treble, and just work your way across in double crochet, and then when you get to the end, turn and do another row of double crochet. So now we're going to work the main mesh pattern for the body of the jumper. So chain 3. Now I always like to do an extra treble stitch either end, just so that you know, it makes it easier to keep the shape as you go up. So then you're going to chain 2, miss 2 stitches and treble into the next stitch, chain 2, miss 2 and treble into the next stitch, chain 2, miss 2 and treble into the next stitch. So this is the pattern, this is what you're going to work into the end of the row, and then do a treble and a treble into the turning chain as well, and then I'm just going to repeat that row 4 times. Right, there's 4 rows of mesh, and we're now going to do another 2 rows of double crochet, and that is going to be the pattern for the rest of the body of the back of the jumper. So 2 rows of double crochet, and then rows another 7 times. So that's the back finished, and this one's been pinned out, and that shows up the pineapple pattern. And so now you need to do the same thing all over again to make the front. So now we're going to start on the sleeve, and we'll start by chaining 54 stitches. And then we're going to work 1 double crochet into the second chain from the hook and into each stitch to the end of the row. Then you're going to work another row of double crochet, and so for the next row it's going to be like the mesh pattern for the body. So we'll start with a chain 3 and a chain 3 treble stitch into the next stitch, and then chain 2, miss 2 spaces and then treble into the 3rd space, chain 2 and treble into the 3rd space, chain 2 treble into the 3rd chain space, and just repeat that to the end of the row. So at the end of the row, chain 2 and double crochet into the last stitch, and then double crochet into the turning chain, or the 1 chain I should say. And for the next row, much the same as the last row, chain 3, treble crochet into the first stitch, chain 2, and then treble crochet into the stitch, the treble below, chain 2, and treble into the treble from the row below, and just keep doing that to the end, and then end with a treble into the last treble, and then a treble into the turning chain. So now we're going to do the first increase, so chain 3 and treble into the same stitch at the bottom of the chain, treble into the next stitch, chain 2, and then continue the row as normal. And then finish the row with chain 2, treble into the last treble, and then treble twice into the turning chain. And on the next row, chain 3, treble into the first treble, chain 2, and treble into the second treble, chain 2, and then just continue the row as normal. And then at the end of the row, chain 2, treble into the next treble, chain 2 again, treble into the next treble, and then into the turning chain. So now we're going to do 2 rows of double crochet. Two trebles into the 2 chain space, and 1 treble into the treble. 2 trebles into the 2 chain space, and a treble into the double crochet into the treble. So I'm going to continue by working the same pattern as you did for the front and back of the jumper after the peacock stitch. So you're going to do 2 rows of double crochet, and then on the first row of mesh, you're going to chain 3 and chain into the base of the chain 3, and then at the end you're going to treble twice into the turning chain at the end. So we've just worked the increase row, so the follow-up row, same as before, we'll chain 3 and we'll chain into the next treble into the next treble, and then we'll chain 2 before the next treble, and then just continue working the rest of the row as normal. And so we get to the end of the row, chain 2 and treble into the last but 2 treble, chain 2 into the next treble, and then treble into the turning chain. So work another 2 rows straight of the mesh, followed by 2 rows of double crochet, and then work an increase in the first row after the double crochet, and then continue to work straight in the 4 mesh 2 double crochet pattern. So this is the finished sleeve, and now all we have to do is sew everything together.